Let's talk about something fascinating: how our brains can be tricked into becoming focus machines. Most people think of focus as this mysterious force that either shows up or doesn't, but that's not how it works at all. The brain is basically a pattern recognition supercomputer that can be reprogrammed, and here's the beautiful part: it responds to the smallest of signals. Think of focus like a shy wild animal. You can't just grab it, you have to create the right conditions for it to appear. The first trick is to understand that focus isn't about forcing concentration, it's about removing the triggers that make the mind wander. Every notification, every open tab, every unfinished task lying visible on the desk, they're all like little magnets pulling at the brain's attention. But here's where it gets really interesting: the brain actually loves to focus. It's designed to dive deep into tasks. That's how our ancestors survived, by becoming completely absorbed in tracking prey or making tools. The problem isn't the brain's capacity for focus, it's that we've surrounded ourselves with environments that our Stone Age brains were never designed to handle. One of the most powerful techniques for training focus is something called progressive loading. Just like building muscle, building focus requires starting small and gradually increasing the challenge. Start with 10 minutes of uninterrupted work, that's the equivalent of lifting a light weight. Then slowly increase the duration while maintaining perfect form, meaning complete engagement with the task. Here's a lesser-known trick: the brain responds incredibly well to spatial anchors. Want to create a focus trigger? Choose a specific spot that will only be used for focused work. It could be a corner of a room, a particular chair, even a certain way of sitting. The brain will begin to associate that space with focus, and eventually, just moving to that spot will signal that it's time to concentrate. Temperature plays a fascinating role too. The brain focuses best when it's slightly cool, not cold enough to be uncomfortable, but cool enough to feel alert. It's why many people find they can concentrate better in the morning when the body temperature is naturally lower. The most counterintuitive aspect of focus training is that breaks are just as important as the focus periods. But not any kind of break will do. The brain needs what could be called full-spectrum breaks, moments where it can engage in completely different types of thinking. Looking at a phone during a break is like trying to rest one muscle while flexing it at the same time. The secret sauce in all of this is consistency. The brain is constantly trying to conserve energy, so it needs to be convinced that focus is the new normal. It takes about 3 weeks of regular practice before these patterns start to feel natural. That's not just a random number. It's roughly how long it takes for neural pathways to strengthen and stabilize. One last piece of the puzzle: the role of anticipation. The brain is surprisingly responsive to pre-commitment. Setting up tomorrow's focus session today, laying out the materials, clearing the space, deciding on the specific task, this creates a mental runway that makes it much easier to take off when the time comes. Remember, the goal isn't to become some sort of focus robot. The brain needs its wandering time too. The art is in being able to switch between focused and relaxed states intentionally, rather than being at the mercy of every distraction that comes along. That's what real cognitive fitness looks like: not permanent focus, but focus on demand.